Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Chris Eubank Jr. Probably time to walk away from the sport, man. He's just go on and enjoy his life, enjoy all the money he made. Just to think that he came into the sport as a son of a ex-professional fighter, a champion, an individual who just happened to be loved by the entire country out there in the UK. And Chris Eubank Jr. did the unthinkable. First, he was a really good fighter. And two, he made the kind of money that most champions don't ever make. So when you look at it, Chris Eubank Jr., he won. His career was successful. But you got to understand, for him to be one of the best sons of a champion, there were some challenges, When you're carrying that last name, Eubank, that's a blessing and a curse, For him, I just think fans expected greatness immediately. You see a lot of different fighters have kids that turn to the sport and they just don't deliver. But with those fans, they're watching you, man. And when you perform great, when you do outstanding things and you kind of exceed their expectation, it's a nice feeling because of the support and the positive reinforcement that you receive as a fighter. However, if you don't, as far as how the fans see it, if you don't perform to your potential, well, they're going to see it as a setback and they're going to magnify it, and that's not going to feel good. And that's where I think a lot of sons who are sons of champions struggle to escape their father's shadow. Chris Eubank Jr. seemed to have had some spots where it was a little bit of a struggle, but he had to sort some things out and stand on his own 2 feet. And I think ultimately he realized that his dad was right. His dad was trying to protect him from the politics of boxing, the snakes in boxing who only want to make money off of the fighter. But when you look at where he ended up, where he's at now, although he lost to Conor Ben, still think overall Conor Ben may have won the fight, but Eubank Jr. won the war. And the war was with himself, his dad, promoters, fans, referees, judges, commissions, secret society, and any and everything else. There was a concerted effort to try to bring down Eubank Jr., and he still came out on the other end, very successful, rich beyond his imagination, and a winner in my eyes and a lot of fans' eyes, and I just want to point that out. Now, as far as his identity, his style, he's just an athletic guy, man. Very high output, very athletic, thrives in physical fights. 2 fights with Conor Ben, he was set up to lose. I mean, he went for the money. He knew what he was doing, agreeing to the weight. He agreed to the rehydration clause. But, it's the kind of money. And even Eddie Hearn pointed out, you like money. So he went after the money. He put greed before greatness. But at the end of the day, maybe he feels it's the end of his career. He didn't want to continue. So he took the Conor Ben fight because of the money and took the rematch again because of the money. And he's going to be able to sail off into the sunset and do what the hell he wants. And his twins that are on the way, his brother Sebastian, may he rest in peace, that little handsome little son that he has there, Eubank Jr. can make sure that all of those kids and their kids are just fine. And that's to be commended, As far as his psychology, I mean, you can see he's stoic. Really doesn't smile, really doesn't do anything. When he talks, it's like his mouth doesn't even move, It's like a damn ventriloquist. Very independent person, branded himself the next generation to prove he's his own man, and he did that. And a big difference from his dad, Senior, he's less flamboyant, more Spartan and confrontational, and definitely all about putting the bing bings on you. And that's why a lot of people have developed a lot of respect and admiration for him. But two Conor Ben fights definitely helped him, helped his profile. It helped Conor Ben as well. I need to do a video on him too, man. But you got to put some respect on his name. As far as turning pro as a fighting son of a champion, Look, he did have some career highlights. He won British titles, IBO belts at middle and super middle. He beat James DeGale, a former world champion, convincingly. He survived setbacks like Billy Joe Saunders, George Groves, but he rebuilt and stayed relevant. The Liam Smith rivalry showed resilience and ability to adjust. So, he has some highlights he should be proud of, because there's a lot of guys who turn to the sport and they just don't have those kind of highlights and they don't have the accolades that he was to achieve, especially when there was a bar set unreasonably high for him just because of his last name. And I'm not going to say he cleared the bar, but I guess it's pretty subjective, so it's going to be an opinion. But for me, he cleared the bar and he did the business, and he has everything to feel proud about. Now, the branding and legacy. Now, this is the thing. He didn't just copy his father's theatrics. He built his own persona. He was an independent thinker. He was his own man. Focused on big rivalries and events rather than chasing every major belt. It's all about the Wu-Tang Cream, which is smart. And he stayed a consistent headliner in UK boxing for over a decade, which is very hard to achieve. Now, when you talk about him, and for anyone who's like, he wasn't a great fighter, listen, hold your horses, listen, I'll take it to the stupid. You compare him to other sons of champions. Let's just look. Tim Tszú's son of Costa Tszú. Tim Tszú was very successful. Became world champion at 54, a very unique style. Conor Benn, the son of Nigel, aggressive, fiery, still building his legacy, but I would consider Conor Benn a successful example of a son of a champion. But then there were those fighters who struggled. You had Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He won a title but lacked discipline, career fizzled. Chavez Jr. could have gone so much further. He had it. He had what it took. He had Marvis Frazier, son of Joe, solid contender but defined by losses to elites. He just couldn't cut the mustard. Then Nico Ali Wash, grandson of Ali. He's more of a cultural resonance than championship trajectory. Nico Ali Wash won't ever become a champion. But so he's going to struggle, but, it's cool to see Muhammad Ali's son in there fighting. Now, compared to them, Eubank Jr. stands out for consistency, professionalism, and staying a box office draw, something that's hard to do. The Benn rivalry, look, fathers defined an era, Eubank Sr., Nigel Benn. Sons carry that rivalry forward, making every fight a legacy test. 2 big fights, 2 very fun fights, 2 exciting fights, but nothing's going to top that first fight. That first fight was just like something scripted. You just couldn't make it up. It was, that first fight was just amazing, man. Everything about it was just amazing. So for Eubank Jr., it's not just about wins, it's about proving whose lineage translates best to modern boxing. And with him and Ben, I think they both proved that their lineage translated pretty damn good to boxing today. Now, as far as people critiquing him and any counter arguments when it comes to Eubank Jr., they're going to say he avoided major belts. Others argue his technical ceiling was exposed by elites, but he always bounced back, kept arenas full, and stayed relevant. Something most second-generation fighters just could not do. So in my opinion, man, when it comes to Chris Eubank Jr., one of the most successful modern examples of a champion son. Built his own identity, headlined major events, beat real names, and stayed culturally central. You got to remember, legacy isn't just belts, it's relevance, resilience, and rivalry gravity. Eubank Jr. checks those boxes. He really has his stuff together, man. I don't know. I guess the question is, before I end this video, do you value a second-generation fighter who chases belts, a one who fights big rivals and keeps fans engaged year after year? Chris Eubank Jr. forces us all to answer those questions. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.